No, good afternoon. Hey, it seems like morning just because normally when we're starting the show, it's morning time, of course, Saturday morning, the W show. Steve Walls, DJQ, also Noel, who isn't Noel isn't here right now, but we have a can't say special guest this week.
Yeah.
A new face to the W show, Miss Jasmine Palmer. Jasmine, how are you?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Of course, Miss Jasmine Palmer, she's going to be interning and also going to be one of our new faces on the W Show, which is every Saturday morning, 11 a.m. to noon. Q, how was your week, man?
Man, it's going good so far. Coming off of the homecoming weekend I talked about.
Oh yeah.
Still recovering from that because I'm not Jasmine's age anymore. And I learned that by the week.
So, Miss Jasmine Palmer, tell us where are you from exactly?
I'm from Lee Summit, Missouri. I graduated from Lee Summit High School in 2017. Go Tigers!
So you Lee Summit High School. So we talked about this. I think it was in our show meeting this week. But Lee Summit, they're the Tigers? But who are some of your I guess because you play two sports, right? Basketball and what's the other sport you play?
Soccer.
Okay, so you Lee Summit West, was that your rival?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some battles with Lee Summit West, but right now you are in college, correct?
Yes, sir.
And what school are you at?
Washburn University.
And are you playing? Did you play soccer in college?
I am playing soccer in college. Yep. So, just decided to play soccer in college. Gave basketball up after high school. So, going from there.
What was that transition like, going from playing a high school sport to then moving on to college?
Yeah.
It definitely was a transition for sure. The biggest adjustment I had in the beginning was just going down to one sport. Obviously, I was used to always playing two sports, always being back-to-back seasons. So that was adjustment in itself, just getting used to not having to train for both. And then, of course, in college, the pace is faster. The conditioning is totally different. So just getting conditioned was probably my toughest challenge, ready for playing college ball versus high school. So.
And of course, are you a diehard Chiefs fan, diehard Sporting KC fan? Which one are you, or both, and actually Royals too?
Yeah, diehard Kansas City fans. So definitely Chiefs, Sporting. Big college basketball fan. Go Jayhawks. I'm a big KU basketball fan.
So. There's a fight right there, Q. The vibe right there. Of course, I'm a Missouri Tigers fan. Didn't go to Missouri. Still, live on the Missouri side. So it's kind of one of those things where you live in Missouri, you gotta like the Tigers. You live in Kansas, you like the Jayhawks. It works like that. No,
I mean, there's some outcasts here and there, Steve. You know this.
Okay, so who are you? Who is your fave?
My favorite is that. Oh, for you?
No, for you. For me, my favorite college team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have a favorite. I went to Southern University, HBCU in Louisiana. So if I'm gonna pick favorites, that's the absolute favorite, and there's no dodging that. But if you want a Division 1A squad, I had always liked Ohio State for some reason. Especially coming up, except for that one year with Desmond Howard. I was rooting for Desmond Howard that Heisman year, but as far as favorite college teams, it was Ohio State for a while.
Okay. And Jasmine, who are some of your favorite athletes right now in sports?
Favorite athletes. My all-time favorite is Lolo Jones, hurdler, USA
Yeah.
hurdler. I love her story. All-time favorite Jayhawk is Mario Chalmers or Sharon Collins.
Okay.
So those are probably my big times.
Mario Big Shot Chalmers.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Friend of the show too.
Yep, of course.
Right.
And we talked to Mario last week, and he let me know that he's getting ready to go back overseas. So we were trying to get him on on Saturday to talk NBA, but we're going to try to have him on once he gets, I guess, settled in wherever he's going. I think he's going to Israel, I believe. We got to check back, but yeah, I think that's where he's going. But so, Miss Jasmine, we are definitely excited to have you as an addition to our show.
Definitely.
Favorite
Chiefs moment? Let me throw that one at you.
Obviously the Super Bowl win last year.
Really?
That's
Okay.
unbeatable. Yeah. I got to be at Power and Light when everything was going on, so that was pretty cool. And so that was probably my favorite moment for sure.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah.
Super Bowl. Yeah.
Let's jump to the show we had on Saturday. You had a pretty interesting individual in your life that popped up on the live broadcast for your first show. And I guess this week she's officially a member, Steve, or is this her second week on the show?
Well, this will be her second week on the show. She's
Okay.
show.
Okay. So yeah, talk about the influence your dad really had on your life as far as like sports. Let's even start with sports.
He was always both my dad and a coach. So especially with his accomplishments and everything, it's hard to argue with him. So he's always trained me growing up, pushed me, encouraged me, never missed a game. So I definitely have to give a shout out to him for where I'm at today. And then I always have to hear about, of course, his accolades as well, even though I couldn't play football myself. He said football or females don't play football in my house, but I always get to hear about that. So I think I probably would have followed in his footsteps and been DB as well if I could have. So
yeah, and talk about his accolades. You hear so much about it, and it's funny. Even in your introduction to us, we even talked about your dad a little bit, so we could really feel the admiration. But talk about his accolades. Kind of share that with the listeners here.
Yeah, so he played football at Pitt State University. Won a national championship in '91. Was runner-up the year after.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, he was a DB, so he still holds the interception record. He has the single season record, which was 9, and then the career record for the conference. So in the single season, I believe is still standing, and then he's like top 5 for the all-time career.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
some of them are still standing at Pitt State.
So yeah, he's a. Go ahead, Steve.
So being a baller runs in the family.
Yeah.
Right. I had it in my blood from jump, so he wasn't too happy about me going to Washburn, though, of course, since we're in the same conference. But Pitt State doesn't have a soccer team, so I had to do something.
Yeah, and talk about that experience up in Washburn. We talked about earlier about you going from Rockhurst, but talk about that experience really shifting from school virtually in the city that you're from to really outside of the city.
Right. I definitely had some familiar faces. I was surprised not to see as many people from my high school personally go there, just because it is out of state. It's on the Kansas side. But I had some friends from Lee Summit West that I knew before I got there. So I think that really helped me to be able to build my friend group. And then once I got there, I really met probably my friends for life there at Washburn. I became really close with some of the football players, especially my teammates. I'm still really close with. So definitely made my lifelong friends there, I would say, versus being here in Kansas City. So.
And which team runs the campus up there? Basketball team,
soccer.
The football team, soccer team.
Yeah. I gotta say soccer.
Heck yeah. And where was I going with that? Because we talked about college athletics and as far as your preparation and really moving into college, but transition from that, how is that academic transition? How is that, is it, I know Lee Summit is a pretty good school district. So how is that transition really jumping, from high school to college?
I definitely think academically, Lee Summit prepared me for sure. But it was the juggle, especially with road games and in college ball, you might leave halfway through the week versus just having 1 or 2 games a week. So definitely trying to figure out our schoolwork while you're on the road, preparing, but even before you leave the classroom, trying to get things done, be proactive before you leave to go on road trips. That's definitely the biggest adjustment for sure. But I would say that it was really nice at Washburn. They make time for their athletes to be able to do that, set aside study time, that kind of thing on road trips. I had to get a hotspot on my phone for the bus, but
Yeah.
got it knocked down. So
Yeah.
College athlete, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Steve, how was your transition from high school to college? Was it, was it as I won't even say as smooth, because she talks about having, the time management between schoolwork and leaving in the middle of the week. Talk about your experience a little bit.
Just thinking back on it, I wish I had known more, going into college as a student athlete. But I went to middle of nowhere, Iowa, so it was definitely a culture shock to say the least. Just coming from urban Kansas City and going to where there's literally nothing, and you walk outside one morning and it's -20, So it was definitely different from that aspect. But as far as like the work and the athletic side of it, it was definitely a different. I can't say it was much different, because of course Coach Fritz coached us like we were college athletes at center, but
of course,
just the work ethic that you had to put into it, and talking waking up at 5 a.m, that was unheard of, into it. But all in all, it was a good experience.
Yeah, definitely. And then I want to transition. Steve and I grew up playing sports. I don't know if you knew that, but Steve and I grew up playing sports together, football and baseball. I was a little better than him at basketball, so he was kind of always a little behind me, and I'm lying about that right now. No, but we definitely grew up playing sports together, and I know for like Steve and I, our generation is very, very competitive. Talk about your father's competitive nature, especially in the home, really just outside of like sports, whether it's you and him racing to a car or something. Talk about that competitive seed that he always planted in you.
And the first thing that comes to mind is the car rides home from games. I'm sure you guys have had a couple of those. So those are always interesting. I always had my coach, but I also had my dad who doubled as one too. So the car rides home are definitely probably the most memorable outside of actual sports experience. But we have athletes on the family. My brother is actually in his first year at Pitt State to run track and high jump. So it's always been me and him really going at it for sure. He played soccer through high school too. He stopped halfway through high school career, but we always went at it, so that was always fun. And I'm of course the only female athlete, and so that's always been a different dynamic because I like to think I can still keep up, even though I'm the outsider. So.
And do you think that being the lone woman in that athlete in the house, do you think that aided in your performance on the field?
Definitely, they didn't hold any punches against me, even though I was. Yeah. So definitely pushed me, I would say, to make me stronger and tougher. Just growing up around them alone challenged me. So.
Yeah, definitely. That's dope.
But was it one of those things where like everything is a competition? Like you're eating dinner and it's whoever gets done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or especially on like club ball weekends, and like he would score one goal or I would score 2. And so it was always like, oh well, you did good, but I scored 2. So
yeah.
You're close. So
that's funny. Well, if you're just tuning in, we have Miss Jasmine Palmer. She will be joining us on the W Show as one of our new co-hosts of the show. So we welcome Miss Jasmine. And if you guys are wondering when our show airs, it's actually Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. to noon. We also do some stuff throughout the week. So tune in for that. But for Steve Walls, for Miss Jasmine Palmer, and DJ Q, and Noah Searles, we will see you all on Saturday.
Yeah.